President Trump is in some hot water this morning after one of his legal advisors, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, spoke out about the Stormy Daniels case. This morning, I'm joined by Dr. Lee Hanna. He's a professor of political science at Wright State University. I just first want to start with, Rudy Giuliani really came out with this, that President Trump may have known about this $130,000. Did he put the president in some new legal trouble?
So he certainly put him in some political trouble in terms of contradicting the message that had come from the White House previously, which was that Trump had no idea about this. This is just an extortion plot. And what Michael Cohen did with his personal finances was kind of out of the president's view. And so the fact that Giuliani said that he's repaying these loans would obviously suggest that President Trump thinking about this lawsuit. They're trying to spin it as some type of retainer type of deal, some attorney-client relationship. But a number of legal experts are saying that that doesn't necessarily hold up too well. But it fits this broader trend of regardless of how you feel about the political goals of this White House, there is a messaging issue that they run into quite a bit, where they're not all on the same page. And so you see Sarah Huckabee Sanders trying to catch up in some ways as the director of communications, even other members of Trump's legal team. It does seem like Giuliani had permission to go out here on behalf of the president and say what he said, but it's not clear whether anyone else was in the know outside of the president and Giuliani.
When you have that kind of situation where it's sort of, all over the place, there's a lack of one single message, what does that cause? What kind of trouble does that cause?
Yeah, normally we complain that White Houses are too buttoned up, that they don't give the press enough access. But what this causes is part of why it seems like the media is obsessed with all of these, what are some called palace intrigue stories, is because the White House keeps delivering them. And also it leads to rivalries. It leads to, opponents within the White House leaking against one another. And so that's kind of created this atmosphere that does mean that often stories that they can maybe, really take advantage of, like the North Korea story or the economy, get lost kind of for lack of a better word, some own goals, right?
Right.
Yeah.
When you have this kind of mixed messaging, do you think it's a strategy, or do you think it's just a one big real mess up that's happening in the White House right now?
That is another question that has come out this week. Now, we know that Michael Cohen is now under investigation by the New York the federal attorneys there, and there is a chance that maybe they have some insights as to what's coming, and they're trying to get ahead of this. Time will tell on that, and it is hard. You don't want to speculate too much, because often these stories that start as something, we think it's one thing, and it becomes another with time. But there's definitely some thought that perhaps they know something is coming down, so they're trying to put the story out on their own terms.
And quickly, if you could, just address the fact of campaign financing.
Sure.
I know that's the big question is,
yes,
where did this money come from? How was it used? That type of thing.
Yes, this is one of the bigger legal questions, is related to that $130,000. Now, if it can be spun as it was just to clean up some type of personal issue, then perhaps they move on. But if it is seen as the main reason why they gave this money was to protect him in the election, then that looks like a contribution in kind. The president has never been forthcoming about spending that money through any types of federal disclosures that he's had to make. So it could become problematic in the future.
Still a lot of things to remain to be seen, I think, at this point.
For sure. Yes.
All right, Dr. Lee Hanna, thank you so much.